I put it on, I got that oil dripping on me head to toe. Ain't my fault that I was chosen any minute, money.
Hey everybody, this is Pallena and this is my glory story. I am a celebrity makeup artist. I do hair, sing, entrepreneur. Let's just put it all in one bucket. I am a serial entrepreneur and I enjoy everything that I do. COVID started, 2019? And we're in 2021. I've definitely learned a lot about myself. It's been I don't want to say a roller coaster, but that's the only analogy I can give. It's been a pretty interesting one, and definitely trusting God through a 2-year process. I will say that. Recent moment, here we are today, on my birthday. Dang, I'm not supposed to cry early. But just being able to be here with the gift that God has entrusted me with, first and foremost. So of course, this is baby Grayson, and this has been definitely a road to glory, I can honestly say. The process is one that you really have to trust God with your whole heart. Like, lean not to your own understanding. I know it sounds cliche and everything, but really trust God through this process. 9 months, of course, you have to go through in order to deliver, what must be brought forth into the earth, rather, should I say, to the kingdom. And this process has been, of course, up and down, one, because it's something that I've never experienced, as far as all the way through full term. So literally trusting God was definitely one of those things that I had to apply to my road to glory, to be honest. It wasn't until 2 weeks ago that I really encountered the love of God. Just the experience. It's one thing to carry, but when it's time to push through the process that you've been walking through, that's a whole separate entity along with the path that you're already on. So imagine going through process and then you have to process going through another process. That's a lot. And so for me, 2 weeks ago, one, my baby was already past due, as you would have it. And if y'all hear him snoring, I'm sorry. Okay, he loves his sleep. But I went in October 31st, 7 p.m. To be induced, and you go in with one thing in mind, and your whole world whole world's flipped upside down. And so for me, everything was going good. Okay, cool. They gave me a certain type of medicine so that I could be induced, so that, I could say, hey, I gave my child naturally. I birthed my child naturally. But of course, God saw other plans, because he saw what was ahead of me before I could even see what was going on. It got to the point where I couldn't even really walk to the bathroom while being there. It was very hard for me to walk. And so my nurses, they were so loving, so kind, so passionate. And it got to the point where it was like, okay, well, you know what? We're gonna do this. And so I ended up having to use a catheter so that it wouldn't be, so much pain with me having to get up and go to the bathroom. Mind you, I'm being induced already, so my body's not naturally doing it, but, having to be done for me. And so, I had to use a catheter just to go to the bathroom to help with the pain of having to walk. As time went on, it's like maybe going into the next day, and I've only dilated 3 centimeters, and you have to get to 10 in order to push. Okay, so I'm at 3, and I'm like, okay, well, that's, okay, cool, we'll see what else happens. And so time goes on, and I'm still at 3. And then time goes on, and my midwife comes in, and she's like, yeah, we're gonna go ahead and break your water. Cool. I got up to maybe 4.5, 5, and that was it. And so, because the pain was unbearable, they started giving me different type of drugs. And so, of course, this is a process that I've never been through. So I got to the point where they were like, hey, you know what? If you get an epidural, you won't feel any of this pain from the waist down. And so I'm like, okay. However, I'm scared of needles. Even though I got 2 tattoos, I'm scared of needles. But because I was already in so much pain, when it was time for me to get the epidural, of course, I could feel it. And I'm talking like feel it, like to the point where I was stuck more than 5 times because he couldn't find a spot. But imagine having to sit still the entire time, because if you move any sudden wrong movement, your nerves in your back, anything could happen. That process was done. Okay, cool. 10 minutes later, I don't feel nothing from the waist down. As time goes on, I just wanted to sleep. Because at this point, I'm still, trying to have contractions, trying to be able to push naturally. And I just wanted to sleep, play my Fred Hammond. I just wanted to sleep and just hurry up and get the process over with. Mind you, I'm still not dilating. Eventually, time goes on, and the nurses are saying, you have to flip your body. Mind you, I can't feel waist down, but you have to flip your body on the left or the right side because your son's heart rate is dropping. And I'm like, okay, what do you want me to do? So using my upper body strength, I'm having to toss and turn at least every 30 minutes, and then it became every 10, 15 minutes, and then it just got to the point where they were just like back and forth, looking at the monitor outside in the hallway, coming back in, okay, you gotta move, you gotta flip. On top of that, not knowing, I didn't know I was anemic until being pregnant. And on top of that, they're having to give me fluids because my blood pressure was dropping. So at the same time, his heart rate dropping, my blood pressure dropping. So it became a life or death matter where it was either me or him, or both of us, or, whichever one, however God saw fit for both of us to be here. But it got to the point where my nurses and the doctors were like fighting and vouching, because the one thing I did not want to do was have a C-section. I just didn't, no knock to anybody, prior to me having one. I just didn't want to have a C-section. And so I cried because I was just like, why do I have to do this? Like, why me? Why? And so I want to say probably 2 hours later, I barely could remember anything. So it's literally the things that God allowed me to remember. 2 hours later, they came and they gave me some more drugs. I had to sign paperwork. And they were just like, okay, we're going to take you down the hall. You're going to go here. And so when we got into the room for the C-section, I'm talking about, it's a white wall. It's white walls everywhere. If you were the type of person that would go crazy just seeing one wall color, trust me, with big lights in front of you. And so there was an anesthesiologist sitting behind me. 30 minutes later, my mom was sitting on my side. And so, of course, because of COVID, you can only have one visitor, of course. So I was already feeling some type of way. And so even in that, they started to give me more medicine. So I was numb from chest down. So my hands, you know, of course, I was laid out like Jesus. Okay, laid out. And so I just remember saying, I gotta throw up. And I don't know why I gotta throw up, but I threw up before they even started the procedure. And so I remember looking to the right, the left. I remember looking to the left, and I kept saying, am I supposed to be feeling dizzy? Like, can I close my eyes? Everything just felt weird, but I knew that I had to go through this process. And so before I knew it, my mom said, you fell asleep and you were snoring. And the anesthesiologist was like, we've never had anybody fall asleep in the middle of a procedure. I knew then that that was the love of God, because he knew that he won't put more on you than you can bear, first and foremost. And because I already felt the weight of everything, I just felt like, oh my God, am I gonna check out of here? What's happening? I don't know. I can't even see down, my waist down. I can't see anything. They got this blue tarp. I already feel claustrophobic. And I just knew that the peace of God literally had to come and surround me to put me to sleep. And when I woke up, literally she was saying, happy birthday, he's peeing. So, and I was just like, huh? You know, and so of course they brought him over, but because I was so out of it, I didn't cry. I was just, you know, kind of like, not even where am I, but just kind of gauging the room, because in one moment I didn't know where I was, in another moment, you know, but I knew that God's love for me, so like he loved me that much to put me in a deep sleep to where I couldn't comprehend and understand what was happening. And yeah, it got worse before it got better. And as I transitioned into my room, you know, okay, cool, 6 hours later, you got to stand up and you got to walk. What? First off, I didn't even feel this pain. So now you're telling me that I have to walk, and I was crying so bad. And I just remember a few of the nurses, this one nurse in particular, she was there the first day and I didn't see her after that. And she was just like, you got this. Like, not for yourself, for your child, for your legacy, you got this. And I was just like, okay, you know. And I literally had to pull myself together and take those steps. Time went on, Friday came. Y'all, I was there from October 31st to November 5th. That's a long time. And I just remember the day that I was leaving, I was like, I don't feel good. Something don't feel right. And I had to throw up again, and I'm like, something ain't right. And I just remember saying, Lord, like, I just want to go home. I don't care what it is. I figure it out when I get home. And as I got home, my body started to detox. Y'all, I understand the medical field and all that, but the drugs is not for me. Like, the process, like the things that they put in your body and they give you just so that you won't even be conscious of pain, it makes you feel like if I don't take it, I'm gonna be sick. And so I literally had to rid my body while I was home, like refusing to take the things that they gave me because it was making me so sick. So now I'm at the point where, you know, I am trusting the process and walking because sometimes I still have pain to even get up and walk or even lay in my bed. It's a serious process. And so I'm 30 today. So I said, this is 30 to life. I dedicate this to life because God has given me another chance, you know, not only just to be here to continue to minister through the gifts that he's given me, but to administer a gift that he's given me, you know, and to walk this journey, you know, see it through and remember to trust him through the process. So this road to glory is definitely one that is, you know, not for the weak. You know, I don't put it past anybody. As you can see, he's starting to wake up, right? But I trust God wholeheartedly. and with every person in my life, with his dad, with my family. I trust God because he's given us an amazing gift, and I'm excited about the journey, you know. So yeah, that's really my story to glory. His road to glory. I definitely thought I was strong enough to go through it because I wanted to do it natural. Mentally, I wasn't prepared for the just in case. I didn't have a just in case. I just went in with this what I want to do, this how I want to move. But sometimes the just in case is what saves your life, you know. And I just got to the point where I was like, okay, by any means necessary. Like, that's where you have to literally trust God. When you get to the by any means necessary in any situation in your life, that's where you have to solely trust God. To be honest, I didn't really have any shame. I was more so concerned. I was more so concerned about, okay, Lord, they gonna put me out, you know, type thing. However, where I am in ministry, God has given me pastors that like love me unconditionally, not just for my gift, but love me in spite of like my flaws. Of course, my child isn't a flaw, but you know, love me in spite of what may be considered wrongdoing. And the fact that they allowed me to continue to serve, like, that was a blessing, because sometimes you don't know like what can cause you to go crazy, you know. If that one thing, you know, that's all I've known, you know, is to minister and to serve and to love God and to, you know, do certain things in life. And so just being able to minister was the one thing that has really kept my mind, has kept me at peace and kept me to be able to really like trust him wholeheartedly. I rock with the Glory brand because it reminds me of how much God loves me. Y'all, I'm sorry, he's turning up now. We got to go. Once again, God's love over rebellious you. God loves you in spite of your situation and your circumstance. And we out, okay? Love y'all.